Welcome back, Journeyers. As always, it is our honor to be part of your improv journey. We are exploring the themes that show up in your life, from bravery to community, relationships to your inner self. We are using improv to help you connect to yourself and others. The journey guides for this evening are here to help you connect. Feel free to participate at any level that is comfortable for you. Our journey guides may ask you for a suggestion, a comment, or a reflection. Please put those in the chat. As our scientist explores the theme, let us know how it shows up in your life. Participate with us during our drama therapist session. As always, as our special guest, we have a journeyer just like you, a non-improviser who will need your support, your cheers, your laughter, and reflection. Welcome back, Journeyer. You've grown.
Hello and welcome back, Journeyer. I am so appreciative. I am so happy, so glad to be on your improv journey. And since you've been gone, so many things have happened. We have done so much to make sure that you are on. Because you are here, we are here. Because you are here, we are connected. When we last left, we talked about many things. And now that we are here, we are talking about persistence. I want to talk about persistence, but I cannot talk about persistence by myself. I am not a lone journey guide. I have another journey guide tonight, someone who you haven't seen in a very long time. Maybe you haven't seen them ever, but they are here, and they are Michael Jewell. Michael Jewell, welcome to On and Off the Show. Hi, how are you?
Oh, I am persisted. I am existed. I am ready. I am so happy to be here. My heart is always slightly fuller when Shannon Stott and I are connected in some way, shape, or form. So
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Michael, listen, we are talking about persistence, and it's an easy thing. It's easy to talk about persistence. I want to ask you this: how are you persisting these days? What is going on for you?
it's so interesting. So a lot's going on, just in the personal life. Just doing the work that we do. But and we'll get to it in depth. But I think as one of the things I do that aren't improv related is I train personally. I'm a personal trainer, and that involves a lot of persistence
Yeah.
because that is a lot of getting up and doing things that may be difficult and may not show themselves through without time and consistency, and then all of a sudden things change and then they grow and etc. So persistence is a huge part of the daily activity, the daily life that I have. So I'm so excited that this is the conversation today.
Yeah, Michael, oh man. So there's this thing that happens in working out and gains and losses and whatnot that I feel is absolutely 100% akin to what goes on an improv stage,
Yeah.
right? And specifically, what I'm thinking about right now is the loss. Like when we come up against either injury or
Mhm.
we've been out of the game for a while and we are whatever the loss is, feeling like, oh, I can't do this anymore, or this is a surprise, that seems like it hits directly on the improv stage, right? The feeling of like, what is this? This new thing is happening, and now I have to persist to tell the story
Yeah.
that I started out telling, especially with other people. And can you, okay, I used to be a personal trainer, but I want to like just chat a little bit before we jump into other things. Um, the relationship between personal trainer and trainee and how there's persistence on both ends, and then relate that to being on stage. Go do it. I dare you.
So 100,000%. So being a journey guide in this world is being a journey guide to your physical self. Like it's insane. That's the biggest part of physical anything is mental, right? Like you have to believe in your physical abilities. You have to believe that you can grow those abilities, and then you have to believe that you can execute on those abilities. And like nonstop, the same thing happens in improv, right? Like you have to believe that what you are saying is viable and valuable and fun or interesting or all of those things. And then you have to dive into those, and you're going to hit some walls, and you're going to feel like, oh, I shouldn't have. Why did I say that thing? That wasn't funny, or whatever, overthinking thing that you do. And then you get over that wall, and then boom, you're into another world of like actual performance growth that you're just having a good time. It's kinetic. It's not. You don't. There is no amount of mental weight anymore. Like it's
Right.
all free, and now you're just having a good time with it, and that lives in the physicality too so much. I mean, I could talk about my programs, and I can talk about business all day long, but in reality, it is the ability to perform off and on stage lives in both of those environments so much. It's
Yeah.
kind of crazy beneficial, if I'm
And
honest.
the other part about that is in both realms, you have a partner, right? Like I love this idea of being able to lean on an improv partner, similarly being able to lean on a personal coach, right? On a trainer. And you're both benefiting. One of those, it's such an interesting growth period to be training someone and growing yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like to be in
There's
someone else's mind in that existence, and then on stage in an improv setting, it's the same thing, right? Where I'm always talking to Emily Arnold, who is just about to come up on here with us, but I'm always talking to her about it's always the same thing. This idea that I'm learning, depending on what I'm doing, I'm persisting to be myself on stage in whatever nature that means. And because I'm doing that, someone else is learning from that, right? I'm watching someone persist, and I am also growing. Like we're growing in both spaces, right?
Absolutely. It's a give and take in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. There's a lot of connective tissue that happens while you're in those moments of just like, how are you feeling today? Maybe this isn't the day. You were mentioning earlier about walls. I call those bad beats. So sometimes we'll have a bad beat day where we just don't kind of have it all together, but we're still working together so that we come out of it on top, and we feel good about the fact that we came through the end together or on your own or whatever, but like you came through from the tough moment to the end, and now you can say, I can get through that wall, whatever that is. And mantra wise, it's kind of funny. I've said this for years. People don't know this. Shannon taught me on a computer screen many moons ago, and I thought I was the funniest human being in the world. And I Turns out I am. And I thought, I'm just like, but I would say even then, like put in the reps, because you put in the reps, that persistence of continuously going and doing another push-up and doing another this and doing another, maybe another 5 minutes of whatever that is where the growth happens. It's when you stop putting in that rep is when it's all over, or when it can be all over. Yeah.
What you're talking about is the story, right? Like you're talking the growth, the wall, your body is telling a story.
Yeah.
And what we are talking about here is telling that story on stage. You're talking about telling it off stage within the body, which is beautiful because it's all relevant. And before we get, just because you and I can tell we're just like want to keeping on these. So let's define persistence, and not me, not you, but Emily, our scientist, for our journey today. Let's get them up here so they can tell us a little bit more about persistence.
We're in my lab now. That's a new fun thing, and I love it. So welcome to the party. We're going to talk about persistence today. You already started. I'm joining in. How's it going?
So good, Emily Arnold. Thank you for being our behavioral analyst, our licensed behavioral analyst, talking to us, defining persistence for us so we can really understand what it looks like today.
Yeah, I sure am. I have a whole slideshow about defining persistence. You know what? Let's just dive right into it, because we'll bring up the whole team to watch it. So let's bring the whole gang in. Hello, whole gang. If you all take a look below. So not only do we have Shannon and Michael below, but we also have Jay Clapp, who is our journeyer today. Hello, Jay Clapp.
Hi, journeyer. Hello.
And we also have Luke Wallins. Hi. And we also have Luke Wallins, who's a registered drama therapist. Hey, Luke.
Hello.
So let's get to it. Let's talk about persistence. So my job as a behavior analyst is to operationally define behavior. And that means to take it and be like, this is what it means, so that when we look at it, we know what we're looking for. And for persistence, at the beginning of the month, Shannon and I looked at the Webster's Dictionary's definition for persistence, and it had words like obstinate and like firm and stubborn. And we were like, so here's my definition of persistence. I believe persistence can be defined as continued movement, either towards an objective or in the direction of a certain value, in spite of obstacles or challenges. Sound good to everyone here? Everyone agree with this? Everyone down?
I love that. I feel like Michael said those exact things.
Yes, I know. I write these in advance. It's so exciting when we match up. So let's dig in. Where I want to start digging in is what I mean in terms of obstacles, objectives, and values, right? When we think of objectives, what I mean by that is things that have an end goal, right? Well, we have that little map where it's like we have things to do and then we are done, right? Whereas values are more like concepts and things that are important to us that are kind of more like a compass rose, that the things that we do are in that direction, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to dig into that a little bit more and how that fits into persistence. So first of all, let's talk about objectives. Examples of objectives. I got like climbing a mountain, acing a test, getting a certain amount of money, learning how to play guitar. Y'all, other friends here and then in the chat, what are some objectives that you're working on right now? Ooh.
Objectives.
Didn't expect me to ask you a question.
Ooh. One of the objectives that I'm working on is being out more outdoorsy. Like I got a hitch put on the car and I want to get a tent.
Yes. Yes. Go camping. Yes. That's a thing that's like, I'm going to go camping. Check. Done. Anyone else want to share their objectives?
Yeah. I'm go ahead, Jay Clapp. No, go ahead.
Who's going? Okay. So I am currently working on creating space for myself in my life. So actually saying no to things and doing things that bring me joy,
Yeah.
that's my objective right now. And it's actually kind of fun.
Yes, very nice. Take a you day. I
Silent.
love it. Go ahead, Michael.
Oh no, yeah, I am working on becoming a better photographer. I carry a lot of cameras around with me at all times now to try and improve my photography. It's a fun thing.
Oh, that's awesome. And I think tying into what you're talking about with personal training, it's possible that a lot of your clients too might have like weight objectives or fitness objectives, right?
Absolutely.
So that would be where we run into things there. And so when we're thinking about our objectives, we have like our end goal in mind, right?
Mhm.
We have something in mind that we're like, we're going to reach this, and then we're going to be like, check, got it, good. So when things come in the way, we're like, we just need to get through this, and then we'll ace the test, or we'll lose 10 pounds or whatever it is.
Ooh,
The
before
flip.
you move on, in the chat we have, my goal is to get more regular about practicing meditation
Love
and
it.
work, and then another one, working on walking and exercising more.
Beautiful. Perfect. I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing, friends in the chat. Excellent.
Yes, please.
The other thing is values. This is what I said is more kind of a little bit broad, and where your smaller actions and perhaps your objectives might fall within your values, right? So the examples that I have here are like love and kindness could be a value. You're acting in service of love and kindness, strength or independence, family, connecting with your family and being with your family, or overall health. And so that's when we're thinking about, say, we're going to take it back to the personal training thing, Michael. If we're thinking about some people, I exercise not in the service of health because I don't care as much. I will eat hot dogs all day long, but to be supportive of my partner, who we've talked about, he's like, I would love to get very old with you. And so exercise is important to me because of that. You might have clients, Michael, that have a specific reason for exercising, and some of them might be like, I value being healthy. Do y'all have some values, you all and friends in the chat, to share bigger concepts? I think about them as your whys, maybe.
Say that again.
Your why, like your why, like we were just talking about with the exercise. My why is to be a supportive partner that lives enough.
One of my whys, or I guess in this case, one of my values is patience. I am consistently working on trying to slow down, and the importance of taking a breath with my partner, taking a breath with my life choices, taking a breath with my work, etc. As I've always sort of dove in hard on a lot of life choices. I think Clapp said something very important: self-care, right? Making sure that you're able to say the no when it's important to you and need to, but also with the people around us. In a lot of ways, I think patience is important because we are all a billion times different than each other, and we need to find that level of patience so that we can address each other like adults, like humans, like humans, not even like adults, but like humans. So that's something that is a value of mine that I've been working on myself.
Yeah, beautiful. That's perfect. Anyone else?
Ooh, I see in the chat, a why for meditating would probably be managing my anxiety in general and bring more calm and peace to my life.
Yes, thank you, Kate. Excellent. Okay, Clapp.
All right. I think for me, for the majority of my life, I've always believed and always had this value that to whom much is given, much is expected, and this life of being selfless. And I do believe that, but I also value the importance of taking care of yourself so that you can do good in this world and you can serve others and you can be present for others. You've got to fill your cup so that you have some left over to help others.
Yes, absolutely perfect. Mwah, excellent, wonderful. And even as you were just talking about, sometimes those values are in conflict with each other, and that's okay, right? We tend to, as humans, our our values themselves tend to remain consistent, but the priorities tend to shift over time, and that's okay.
Mhm.
And that feeds into persistence, right? And so this slide I shamelessly stole from a guy who practices acceptance and commitment training. His name is Jonathan Tarbox, and he's a genius. And one way that I would explain like values and objectives in terms of persistence is relating to this episode of The Simpsons. I've been watching The Simpsons since I was way too young to be watching The Simpsons. And in one episode, they put a plaque in front of Homer's humdrum workstation that says, "Don't forget you're here forever." And he is there working this job that he hates because he's there to support his family. And so he posts pictures of his like new daughter, his baby daughter, all over to change it to say, "Do it for her." And so similarly, because we have our objectives and our values, when we come into, we meet obstacles or challenges, we can rely on those things that are important to us to help us get through it and remind us why we're dealing with this stuff in the first place, right?
Yeah.
And because we're here on and off the stage, let's talk about how improv can help us strengthen our persistence. Lesson number 1. We learn about commitment, which isn't just not just like getting married and like that commitment, but like we learn that like we've chosen something and by gum, we are going to stick with this thing, right? Which is important. But then we also learn things like acceptance, where we notice like by gum, I'm going to stick with this thing, but also I'm saying yes to the fact that these other things are happening in the world, right? Jay Clapp, like for your example, you're like, yeah, I totally want to like put like 26 hours a day into helping people.
Mm-hmm.
But I also recognize that I am a human being who needs sleep every now and then. And that's okay. And for us to be able to hold space for both of those things to be true. And because of all that, we also learn flexibility through improvisation, right? We learn how to compromise with those things that we accept. And we learn to be like, okay, so I can't spend all my waking hours helping other people. And that's all right. How can I be flexible about my thought that I need to help other people and still maintain my own mental health? And just like on an improv stage where we learn to kind of bend and move based on what's presented to us, in life off the stage, we can do the same thing. So, yes. Do you all have any examples of ways that you use these skills, commitment or acceptance or flexibility to navigate through anything lately?
You know, it's like a solid flexible, but I've been traveling a lot. And in travel, there's always some terrible, annoying thing that comes and like hits you, right? Like whether it's that bag's too big, it's got to be checked, or your plane's been delayed and now it's delayed again, or whatever, the a million things that happen. And I have been really thinking about persistence has been a thing, obviously, but I've been really thinking about in those moments, what is the story? What am I persisting to do? And sometimes that's get home, and sometimes that's get to wherever destination. But in those getting to the destination, it's I want to show up a certain way. Like I want to get home for my husband and love him, like, and be able to be embraced by him instead of seeing him and saying like, it's terrible. I was late and this is right. And so, but in order to do that, there has to be some flexibility. I have to sort of be able to, those things have to be able to wash off of me a little easier, even if I am in the moment really frustrated.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Oh, did you have something, Jay Clapp?
I did. I was struggling to think about how to respond to this. By the way, I'm always going to have something. If you leave a pause, I have something.
I love you for it. I love you for it.
I was really struggling with how to respond to this one because I think, and it took Shannon speaking for me to realize that it is all three. To talk about any of them, you have to talk about the other, right? Because I have been toying with the concept of acceptance in my life on a regular basis because, I don't know if you can tell, but I have multiple marginalized identities. It's a thing. And which battles do I fight? Because, I am allowed to get tired, right?
Mm.
And so I can't fight every battle. I have to only fight the ones I belong in, right? And that's the concept of acceptance for me. But also, as someone who feels capable, having the flexibility to let other people stand up and fight those battles and watch and support and be present instead of always being at the forefront.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. We did also see that there is one more, another comment in the chat to just to backtrack. Someone who I believe is probably very handsome, whose last name is also Fleming, said that he values family for sure, compassion, empathy, but also finding humor in life.
Yeah.
Sometimes the person who is your partner has similar values to you.
Sometimes.
Anyway, so doing all of these things that we just talked about how we use persistence. And so we can go through our lives, being flexible, accepting and committing, and keeping our objectives and our values in mind to be able to persist through all the tough things. So now, my lovelies, it is time for Shannon and Michael to to demonstrate this. Let's get some improv in this improv show. So I'm gonna let them take that over, and I'm gonna disappear. Goodbye.
Michael, we need to do a scene. Are you ready?
I am particularly ready. Always, I'm persistently ready.
Do you there's been so many things that we've already talked about. Anything just coming up for you that you'd like to just grab as a suggestion?
Yeah, as a suggestion, there was something. The 26 hours in a day felt like very big to me because I recognize that with Jay, Clapp, and I recognize that with Emily too. Like there are only so many hours in this day, yet we are all trying to squeeze every millisecond out of it, oftentimes for other people. Probably more often than we probably definitely should be doing.
All right. I love this. Let's do 26 hours in a day is our suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing some improv.
All right. Can I have a sip? I'm a little tired.
Here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh God. Oh, barely. That was barely a sip.
I just when you take from me, when you sip, your sips are like slurps. Do you know that? When you sip, you're like that's what it feels like. Do you know that?
Well, maybe if I didn't get just a thimble, all the time of just water, I wouldn't try and suck up as much as I possibly could. I'm not trying to fight here. I just I need some hydration in this life. Something for me.
I actually we're closed. We're not taking customers anymore. Closed. I know it says open. I forgot to turn the light off. Just
Tina, the boss is saying not till 10 p.m.
I know, but I'm tired. I have nothing. Everyone is slurping. You know what I'm saying? Like it's 9:45. We can close 15 minutes early.
Okay. All right. Fine. We'll close 15 minutes early. You're talking to the boss. That's all I'm going to say.
Listen. This is the thing, Chad. All right?
I'm so parched.
Parched for water or parched for love?
I'm parched for a lot of things right now, Tina. Mainly, I'm parched for trying to get you to understand that the boss is the only thing that matters.
That's like when you talk about our kids. You know that? It's like I am giving to them. I am giving to you.
They are the boss, though. They are the boss. That's the boss, right?
When do I get to be the boss? When do we get to be the boss? You know, I want to give you water. I want to give it to you. But when I'm down, like low, when I have no more water to give, I want it for myself.
Yeah, it's insane. But guess who's holding the water? Feels like it's not me. I'm not holding the water right now.
It's me. It's me.
So I'm just asking for a sip so I can get through the day for our boss. So I can get through the day for you. So I can get through the day.
Wait.
No, you're right. Can we tell them the doors are closed? Doors are closed.
You did it. You did it. That's what I needed.
I did do that.
No, not that. Not that. Not them. You
Oh.
said so I could get through the day for you. I needed to hear that. I didn't know how much I needed to hear it, but I needed to hear that if I'm giving you water, you know, it sounds terrible. You're going to vomit it back up. I also need the water. Like, can we share this water? This life water?
I would share every ounce of oxygen and hydrogen with you if only you would give me enough to share with you.
Take it all. Take it all.
I don't want to slurp though. I don't want to slurp. I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to slurp. I'm just trying to find a way to exist at the same shoulder height as you. So we can stand tall together for our boss.
I appreciate that. I feel like I'm standing by myself sometimes, and I feel like I'm standing really tall and really big, and I'm the umbrella to other people, and I have to tell people what to do, and that there's no one standing shoulder to shoulder. I don't want to stand this tall all the time, Chad, but I didn't know that you even cared enough to replenish, and I needed that.
Yeah. Well, I needed it too. You know, like I need to feel like I can be empowered to tell you. You know what I mean? Like, so for instance, I'm tired of you putting the coffee filters this way, right? Like, why the pointy end would never go up? That doesn't make sense.
It looks like a hat, Chad. It's fun. I need like something to look at that's funny. And when I see the pointy hats, like a little gnome. Don't you know what a gnome? Like a gnome, like a little.
Of course, I know what a gnome is. Of course, I know.
Coffee filter gnome. Coffee filter. That doesn't.
But that, yeah, of course, it's adorable. But my point is, okay, I needed to know that I can step through that wall with you, so that we can slurp together.
Okay. No, we're actually closed now.
It's been 26 hours. We're clearly closed.
You did it. You did that. You did that. Way to be.
I hit the button.
Oh my gosh. Emily, that was a scene about persistence.
It sure was. And you did it. And you know what I like is that you both had slightly different things that were important to you. Like you, Shannon, you kind of phrased it as like both of you had the same methods, but different reasons. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like Shannon, you were like, I'm the umbrella who takes care of all the things. Mm-hmm. And Michael's like, I gotta appease the boss. We have rules here and we gotta follow them. Yeah. And I thought that was very interesting. That even when you have different values, things that are important to you, you still, they can look like the same thing where you're giving and giving and giving and giving.
Look at you,
Yeah.
Emily.
Emily's here for a reason. Emily's here for a reason.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love the there's some interesting like what do you call it? Improviser things going on in there, right? There I felt like we started off a little bit antagonistic, and there was a feeling of how do we persist to be these characters and still get on the same page? Like yeah. Which was lovely. So thank you, Michael, for
Yeah.
helping me do that.
I think it's a big part of what this part of this conversation is. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah.
getting on the same page. You know, I'm going to go back to the training thing. It's that there's a give and take to persistence. There's a flexibility to doing this sometimes where you can't always. You can try, but sometimes it's going to be a lot harder to punch directly through the thing that you want. And sometimes, or whatever that is, maybe not just a want, but like that goal, that value. And sometimes when you are particularly rigid and tough and all that value gets skewed and gets lost for other things.
Yeah.
And
we can work through exactly what you're talking about because we have a drama therapist.
Oh!
We can literally do it.
I get all my healings going.
Luke Wallens, tell us how to do this stuff. What are we doing?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
No, this way.
Oh,
hi,
yeah.
Luke. Hi.
Hello.
You're doing great. It's
Yeah,
all great. It's
that's
all
great.
good.
Love it.
Yeah.
So with drama therapy, persistence shows up in a lot of different ways. And it's like something that like it keeps you going. You have your value, you have your goals in mind as you're going along. And lots of times in my sessions, for example, I work with adults with disabilities, and so like sometimes, and I work with social skills, and so lots of times there's a lot of different ways to work on social skills, and lots of times it's for them it's like it's creating that bridge and being like, okay, cool, it seems like this behavior didn't work, let's try a different behavior, let's try maybe a different phrasing to get what you need, get what you want, and so that's kind of like how it shows up a lot. Sometimes it's also just like being a support, like because I do drama therapy along with different exercises and classes with adults with disabilities. So in the afternoons there's art class, and there's lots of times where they're like, well, I hate drawing this line, and so it's like, okay, cool, I'm going to sit with you and I'm going to draw a little bit. Can you draw another little bit? And just, just like you guys were talking about, like just that back and forth, it just helps them, continue on their way. So, so it shows up in a lot of
perfect, because you're going to lead us through some things, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. Yes. Yeah. So yeah.
All right.
It's wonderful. But basically, yeah.
Feel about doing Britney dance over.
It really feels like that. Yeah. But yeah, I want to try an exercise, a demonstration of drama therapy. And is it okay if Shannon and Michael, if I have you two to help me demonstrate this part to start off
ready.
with?
Absolutely.
I'm in.
Cool. Awesome. So what I want to try is like there are a lot of obstacles with persistence. Say for example, there we had like your characters, you know, saying I'm exhausted. You know, and so I would say let's see if we can take one of those phrases. You know, maybe it is just I'm exhausted. And would anybody like to would Michael or Shannon, would either one of you like to just just repeat that phrase for everyone? And then the other person, I'm going to ask for them to show an embodiment of that. So we'll see the line and then and see the embodiment of that.
I'll repeat.
Okay.
Okay.
You've got some depth and space to move, Michael. Yeah, I'll repeat. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go. I'm exhausted.
Cool. Okay.
I'm
Great.
exhausted. Oh, do you want me to keep going?
Oh, let's pause there. I wanna change it up a little bit. So thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Michael. Michael, stay where you are. Because what I want to try now is so um, uh, to like basically we're going to use our creativity to see if we can help Michael through his exhaustion, through you know, through that part, and to you know, and to come back to their values, or the you know, being a little bit more persistent again. So let's see if Shannon. Oh yeah, and Michael. So stay where you are. When you feel like you there's a phrase that really that you respond to, come closer to the camera. If you don't worry about it. Okay. And yeah. So let's take and I would love to involve Emily and Jay Clapp. If you both would like to say different phrases, let's go one at a time. And let's see if we can help Michael back to persistence again.
Okay. I'm energized.
I need to do this because it's important to me.
I'm gonna rest for like 5 minutes and then I'll come back to it.
I was able to do something like this last year.
I don't know. I there's a lot of things that I don't know if I'm ready to do.
With time, I am confident the things that I know to do will happen.
It's okay to rest.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Let's take a pause there. Great, yay! We did it. Michael, what phrases resonated with you?
So I like it's okay to rest.
Mhm.
That's a big one. I think um, I there was I think Emily said there I can do this, or like I was able to do this once before. That's a big motivator in my world of like you've still got something in there, you know, you still got something in there for you. Jay Platt said something very similar where it's like you've got this opportunity to do this thing that you've done once before or that you've had in you and you know you can do. That is a good motivator for me. That draws me out to know like uh, the impossible is not unattainable in a lot of ways, or what we perceive as the impossible, whatever that thing would be. That's always a big motivator for me.
Awesome. Oh yeah. Just gonna wrap up a little bit. Thank you for sharing and thank you for participating. And I want to say that like the point of this exercise is to really work on like, okay, I'm gonna identify some things that I'm not comfortable with in terms of continuing on when I feel this feeling, what gets in the way of what I of my values, and how can I acknowledge that and carry on, rather than just be like, I'm just going to pursue, so yes, you're really just like creating that space for yourself, and then also using your creativity and imagination to find different ways to go about it too. So awesome job, everybody.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I
Thank
love
you.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are going to take this. So we've defined persistence. We've played with persistence. We've therapized. We put persistence through therapy. Like, how do we find it? How do we literally like use therapy to sort of to find persistence within us? And now we need to talk to a journeyer, and that journeyer is J Clapp. J Clapp, let's talk.
Hello.
Dun, 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 dun. J Clapp, okay. You are representing all of our journeyers. You're we were talking backstage, you're like a journeyer ambassador.
So
And
proud of myself. Thank you.
you have risen to the ranks, risen through the
She
ranks.
ambassador?
A journey ambassador. Anyway, so I want to know, just from what you've seen already and what you've experienced and how you've participated, tell us tell us how all of this influences you and what you do.
So, like, first off, I want to name that it's like really refreshing to be in this space, right? Because in the rest of my world, I feel like I'm this soul funny person very often. And it's nice to just kind of, and so I just want to talk about that. And maybe that kind of builds into the concept of persistence. But reflecting through all of what I've been witnessing and seeing you all be able to loop this joy of performance into this concept of real life and persisting through real things, that whether it's being a personal trainer or the real things going on in our lives, the concept of persistence is just magical to watch, and it's lovely to be here, and it's lovely to receive all of this.
Thank you for being here, J Clapp. I knew. You know, I just like to say, I knew. I was like, oh, we know. I know. We know. All right. All right. We love having you.
Oh, well, it's a joy to be able to be both the deepest I can be and as ridiculous as possible. It's lovely.
Yeah, as the jam ambassador, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna say
Ooh, I like that.
the jam ambassador. I think you've said a few things that are particularly important to the journey of persistence, which is starting with yourself and starting with like, you need to clear your mechanism before you can even get through the first step of saying like, I want to do whatever it is. I want to apply my values. I want to apply my goals to what I want to do. But in order to do that, my cup needs to be full. I need to be ready to roll, and that's such a huge part of what I do when I do the training, which is when I meet with folks that want to do this, coming in knowing like this isn't just going to be like a tell me to do 20 sit-ups and then I look like Brad Pitt. It's like, no, you need to come in and you need to be ready to do this. That means you want it. I want you to want this. I want you to identify as somebody who wants this, and that means you need to be full in some way, or at least somewhere ready to do it. And I love that, J Clapp. That was beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Talk more, J Clapp.
I was going to say, I'm not a personal trainer. I don't know if that's obvious, but I am not a personal trainer. Instead, I run nonprofits during the day. And right now, I'm running the LGBTQ Center of Durham, which is the social services agency specifically meant to serve the most marginalized among us. And we define that as those people who are most likely trans people of color, right? We know that the target of who's the most marginalized among us is contextual. So we know it's not always going to be trans people of color, but more often than not, in the United States of America, the answer is going to be trans people of color. And it's a passion project, and I find a lot of joy in there. But at night, or sometimes during the day, I'm a well-known drag queen here in the state of North Carolina, and I know, she's funny and she does good work. What are you gonna do? You know, and it was the passion of comedy and social justice that kind of brought me to where I am, because I just believe that you can tell jokes without offending an entire room of people, that there are funny things happening all around us that we can laugh at, including ourselves. And being in this space, being able to bring the concept of persistence from the work that I do, where I help people attain their objectives, of having stable housing and recovering from violence and having steady income and affirming their gender. That's what I do all day.
Wow. Yeah.
Help people persist, but I'm also a person with multiple marginalized identities. And I have hobbies and passions and all of these things over here that I must attend to. And the concept of 26 hours in a day resonates with me because we live in a story. I want to call this a story, a society. We live in a society where we all have side gigs and we're like hustling on the side because everything, all the reasons. Maybe because our jobs aren't passionate for us. I don't know. But I can say a lot on that topic. And it's just kind of like persistence is what my entire life has been about. And having done improv with you, Shannon, in your course, it was a chance for me not to be in control. And it was allowing me to be flexible and allowing me to watch and grow and learn, but also that I haven't told you this. My drag has improved since your course because I got out of my head and I let go and I just perform, right? And I need you to know I was already pretty good. So
I figure.
I'm just gonna blush and laugh.
It's great, guys. We're all doing it. People can't see backstage, but so is Emily and so is Luke. All blushing, all giggling. We can see.
This whole time I'm like trying to focus on what I'm talking about, but I can see backstage and everyone's like, Luke, you are so seen right now. Okay.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, I wanted to come to this because oftentimes I'm joy and also to sharpen my blade. And that's part of the reason I took your course, and it's part of the reason that I'm here. And so the concept of persistence, I just don't think that people often of our cups is not always going to be in boisterous spaces. And sometimes, yes, by the I am
That's Perfect. Perfect job. Okay, so it's your turn. It's your turn, Clapp. It's the journeyer's turn. And what we're going to do is this. I don't know, Braden, if it's possible. So, for those of you who don't know, Braden, thank you so much, is our tech behind the scenes. And they do not know that I'm going to ask them to do this. And I don't know if it's possible. But let me know, Braden, is it possible on a dime to switch like me at the top or J Clapp at the top or Michael at the top? Is it can you do that? Is it possible? I don't know. Just give me a yay or nay. Okay, so we don't even have to do it like we don't even have to give you that much time. So what's going to happen is this: who's ever at the top is going to be speaking in gibberish. Okay, when you're at the top, you are speaking in gibberish, but you are truly trying to be understood. Okay, you're really trying. So you're using your arms and your facial expressions and all of it. When you're at the bottom, this scene is going to take place. I'm just pulling it out, like at a coffee shop. We're at a coffee shop. We're having a normal conversation, the three of us together. So when you're at the bottom, for me and Michael, that is right now, we are going to be talking to each other and to whoever's at the top, just like we're having a regular conversation. But we're going to leave space. We're really going to try to understand what that person is saying. And it will be up to Braden, our tech, to funnel whoever's up there. Braden, how does that sound to you? I love you, Braden. I'm sorry to spring things on
Braden. I love you. Oh
my gosh. Okay, here we go. We'll make it very easy. Michael and I will start off with just a nice regular conversation, and we'll talk to you as well. J Clapp, are you ready to speak in gibberish?
Fully.
Perfect. Michael, are you ready to be thrown up there at any given time?
I was born for this moment, for the top of the.
All right. I also am ready. I see Luke and Emily. Emily and Luke, y'all ready? Here we go. All right. Oh my gosh. I like Jake. This is the thing. I had the most fabulous, I'm telling you, fabulous time last night. Your party, I don't know how you find the time to make such beautiful food, but it was amazing.
It's the espresso, of course, obviously. Like, it keeps me up. It's that delicious Italian brew.
Yes.
Yes.
You're right. That it was like it was smooth, right? That's what Oh yeah.
And that, and they were liking you too. They seem to have a really good time. Oh, you're talking about the crudité I made?
Oh, ice cream, but I wouldn't have had any of that. I'm lactose intolerant.
Well, I have a new soy blend actually. It's delicious. It has no milk or any animal products whatsoever. It's part of the new theme I'm going for.
Oh, a whole concept.
Oh, he wasn't from Alaska. Is that where you were asking? And Japan and Carbog.
Oh.
Okay. I thought, can we narrow it down from like Canada and Alaska to like one cold region? Is that possible?
I would think that like cold, there are lots of like where you would go ice fishing. So
maybe Russia?
That's right. We don't know all your friends. We don't know where they're from. Like they could be from anywhere.
That's fair. I get a little excited when we talk about Alaska.
I Asubudabu Asudabu Sasudabu Alayabu Alyajabu Sashabu Wee.
Is that why my bathtub was leaking everywhere after the party? There was water on the floor. There was water in
Honestly,
the
that was me.
closet.
That was me. I am so sorry, but I'm not. You should have been there.
Asubudabu. I said, ooh, it's smelling really good.
Oh, it was Skagarbaba. It was garbage. It was the Gershgers, then burgers.
Oh,
First of all, there really should be some transition before you talk about going to the kitchen. I just, it took me a second, but now I understand you were making a sandwich. Oh my goodness.
yeah, because when you're doing that type of thing, sometimes the bathtub gets clogged if you're not careful, and it's terrible. That's a terrible clogging of the bathtub.
Scabber. This is Scabber.
And yeah, you can't blame any of us for taking a beautiful bath in a clawfoot tub. I mean, I don't blame you for doing exactly what you did. It was a great party.
I don't blame you. I'm just mad I wasn't invited.
Subajubabi. Babadaba. Yup, you sub blah 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 blah.
So we aren't eating sandwiches?
We're done. We're making sandwiches for dinner. We're done. Brayden, you're amazing.
Brayden, yeah.
Brayden.
So,
oh my god.
I want to go to this party.
It was a good party.
Sounds like a fun party.
It was a good party.
I just didn't want to believe you were clogging a toilet in that moment. I refused.
I was eating something. We'll figure it out in the sequel.
Oh my gosh. It was good. Okay. All right, friends. We're winding down. We've done the thing. We've gone from the beginning of a journey to the end. Actually, we never really come to the end of this journey. This journey continues over it. And what I want to know, J Clapp doing some improv for the first time, but since I don't know, it's been like some years now. And how are you feeling? What are you taking away from this experience?
First of all, that I love to laugh. So thank you so much. And that laughter is so essential in my life. So for that, I'm going to say thank you. But really what I'm taking away is that finding outlets to express yourself and to practice persistence and to relieve the pressure from the day is so essential in everything that we do. And I'm just going to bask in all of you all's glory. That's it.
I want to hype that up because you are speaking as an ambassador for the people who are watching, for the journeyers who are watching. It is important for them to hear that from you, from yes, what improv can bestow upon us, and then specifically how you are using it in your work and your life. It's really important.
It is. And I think for a lot of the people I know, especially people of color, improv has not always been perceived as this super welcoming place or a place that always makes sense. And I found that the practice of improv opens your brain up to possibly anticipating it, which I don't know. There's some therapists I know who could really benefit from doing improv. And there's lots of professionals who could benefit from doing improv because simply waiting for the full story to come out, then responding does so much. It does so much. And it can be so applicable in so many different professions, especially helping professions.
Thank you. Thank you, J Clapp. Thank you for being here. Thank you for honoring us with your wisdom. It's amazing. It is. It's so good. Emily,
Hi.
if there's something you want to leave the journeyers with, what is it? What is it?
We talked earlier about how during the therapy session, we used the phrase "it's okay to rest," and I think in that, I think we've also found in here that when we're persisting, it's not a race to persist, and that it's okay to take our time with it as well, and it's okay to rest and care for yourself sometimes.
Thank you, Emily Arnold. Yes, Luke Wallens. How are you leaving our journeyers today?
Oh, I found that flexibility is a big part. And like if one value or one goal, isn't working, it's okay to shift gears and find a different way to either rest or gain perspective and then come back to it, or come back to it from a different angle as well.
Luke, you're amazing. Michael, we are going to say bye to Emily and Luke and Jay Clapp. Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much for being here and guiding our journeyers. Like really grounding persistence for them and helping them to understand how they can practice persistence in their lives using improv and therapy and behavioral analysis and being a human. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you for connecting. Just connecting. It's so nice.
Michael.
Shannon.
This is your first time as a journey guide. Thank you so much for journey guiding with me.
I feel like I need what like those Dora the Explorer hats.
Yes.
The like
backpack.
Yes, with a backpack on. It feels beautiful. It feels good. It feels really good to speak. There's what I know. I'm sure we have other things to say, but 3 wildly beautiful and unique perspectives just hit us around the conversation of persistence, not including you and I, just 3 beautiful perspectives about that conversation. And that's why I say connecting. It's so good because you can connect in any of those different myriad of ways and find a reason why to persist or continue on. So It was really nice. It was really nice.
I'm going to ask you just for a teeny bit more as a journey guide. How are you guiding? Will you continue to guide our journeyers through the rest of the month as far as persistence goes?
So I did a show during the pandemic for a theater in Austin, and I ended every episode with the show, just so we all know, the premise of the show was to have conversations with people in the performance space who had underrepresented voices, whatever that would be, whether that's people of color, whether that's people with speech impediments, even anything that in which you would be a slight step behind those other people that are usually traditionally the people who have the more dominant voices. And at the very end of that show, I say every time, put in the reps. Whatever you do, whatever you want to do, whatever you're afraid to do, whatever you think you can't do, whatever you hope to do but never had the opportunity, put in the reps. Mm-hmm. You will be surprised at what you find coming out the other side if you just put in the reps. So I say that to my journeyers.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. We'll see you on and off the stage. All right, journeyers. This has been an amazing show. Listen. It's been amazing. It's been amazing to witness people, all of us, just coming into what persistence is for us, learning about how it is defined as far as Emily is concerned and what they bring, learning how really we can get in touch with ourselves, how we move through the world through therapy, and how we can bring persistence into our lives. And this part is really what I am leaving you with. The existence of being, the persisting to be who you are. That is huge. We come at it, Michael said, we've really had different perspectives, and your perspective is so valuable. And we are so glad to have you here on this journey. We're so glad to be a part of it. I say persist to exist. That is what I am leaving you with. Persist to exist. And we will see you on and off the stage. Bye. Bye, journeyers. Bye.